Hello, welcome to the latest video from Last World Boxing. So this video is one close to home for me and Ander. So Leigh Wood, champion of the world. Who's he jumping with next? So what we'll do, Andy, we'll go through the candidates one by one and we'll just say what we think, okay?
Yeah.
Because obviously Leigh Wood gave a few comments. Josh Warrington gave a few comments. Conlon's gave a few comments. So let's try and summarise it all. So first, a possible opponent, Santa Cruz. So I'll give my take first. I think it's a disgrace, like we both agree, that he's still the super champion, as they call it. You know, he's not fought at that weight now for 3 years. You tell me a champion has not been stripped for not fighting for 3 years. So I quite like this fight. I know we're looking at the City Ground. I'm not sure Santa Cruz is a big enough name for the City Ground, but I do think Leigh Wood probably sells the City Ground out on his own. So for all them haters out there who think Leigh Wood don't sell tickets, come on and tell me you don't sell tickets, because I believe he sells the City Ground out. So what are your thoughts about Santa Cruz, Ander?
I actually, I'm going to get onto Warrington shortly. That'd be the best fight for me, but we're going to get onto that. But Santa Cruz, if he can't have Warrington, then for me, the WBA need to make this fight. They need to mandate this fight for the simple reason that we've just said he hasn't fought for over 3 years. Well, he has fought for over 3 years at different weights.
He's not that weight.
He hasn't defended his belt. He hasn't defended his belt for over 3 years. It's an absolute disgrace. There's clearly favouritism, because that would never happen in any other weight. Did be stripped by now. The fact that he keeps on saying, "Oh, I'm going to be fighting for it soon," load of rubbish, mate. The Conlon fight, Leigh Wood Conlon fight, should have been for that super title, but obviously Eddie tried to make it. He said so. Clearly, they're not prepared to strip Santa Cruz. They like him, his name as champion. Well, if you think he's that good as champion, put him in with Leigh Wood.
Mandate it. Leigh Wood, he'll have to go to America. He wants to fight in America anyway, all truth being told. Leigh Wood has mentioned that. So, mandated WBA. And then it's all resolved then.
Yeah.
He goes out to America, knocks Santa Cruz out, and then we can look at the City Ground again.
Well, what it also does, mate, is it makes life easier to make unification fights.
Yeah.
Specifically with the IBF. There's been problems in recent past. The reason Josh Warrington dropped the belt was because the IBF would not sanction a unification against the then WBA regular champion Kanzu.
Yeah,
they wouldn't recognise it. So that was the fight that Warrington really wanted, because before Leigh Wood beat Kanzu, he was nominated the most dangerous fighter in the division, throwing thousands of punches a fight.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to go near him. That's why Warrington wanted to test himself against him, and he was that disgusted that the IBF did it to him that he dropped the belt.
I give Warrington his props and we'll come on to him, but he's got balls, Hunter.
Absolutely, mate, yeah.
You know. So, out of 10, what do you think Santa Cruz is his next opponent? What would you give it out of 10 as a possibility of it happening?
I don't think it'll happen, because I think he's protected by the WBA. There you go, WBA.
So, what are you going to do out of 10 then? Probability?
5.
I think it might be I'm going to go 6/7, because I think they might mandate this fight. I think might push for this to be mandated, but I'll go 6/7. Moving on. So the next one, Michael Conlon. So been quite vocal, respectful, but vocal, saying that he would like a rematch. Leigh Wood's gone on record saying he's happy to give him a rematch, just not next. Leigh Wood did say that he feels he does a better number on Conlon second time round, because he's watched the video back and there's some things that he's took away. So Respect to Conlan. I think Conlan can go another route in this weight in this weight division and probably pick a world title up. Because I think he's one of the best around. But if I was Leigh Wood, there's bigger fish to fry at the minute. Let Conlan go away, build his profile, pick a world belt up maybe, and then let's have a rematch. So that's my thoughts, Andy. What about you?
Yeah, I agree, mate. To Michael Conlan, he's been nothing but respectful coming out of this fight. He could have cried. He could have cried that he won every round. He could have cried that he was well up on the scorecards. He could have cried that it was a lucky punch. He hadn't done none of that. It wasn't any of that, by the way. But he could have. He could have used that. He could have tried that to get a rematch. You know, gone down the dirty tactics route. But he hadn't done that. He's been completely respectful, and so is his brother. So absolute props to the Conlan family. You can't blame him for calling the rematch, mate. You can't call him for the rematch.
No.
Because it was a fantastic fight. One of the best, probably the best I've ever seen live. Do I think Leigh Wood should take it next? No, for the same reasons as you. Michael Conlan's proven he's world class. But Leigh Wood's done it. He knocked him out, mate.
Yeah.
What else does he need to do to prove you don't need that fight again straight away? Leigh Wood's been respectful and said, I'll rematch him, but not right now.
Yeah.
You know, he's got other people that he's targeting, you know, and we're going to go through them now. So, in my opinion, I think Michael Conlan is very capable of going and fighting another champion, winning a world title. And it makes for an even bigger fight, don't it? If that happens.
Yeah. So I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. The only way I see this fight happening is if Leigh Wood's got nowhere else to go, and I don't think that'll be the case. So I'm giving it 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, mate. I think it's 1 out of 10.
So moving on next to Josh Warrington. Firstly, great performance at the weekend. He is one tough mother. When you look at the state of his jaw, I do think it's tailor-made for Leigh Wood. Maybe I'm being biased. I'd love to see the atmosphere as well, between ideally at the City Ground, I'll be honest. Warrington did look like he's got the bit between his teeth again, I'll be honest. I still think he's got demons though from Lara. Slowed up a little bit in the second half of the fight, which if I was a Warrington fan, that would concern me. Because Leigh Wood's going to be there all the way through the 12 rounds and with his carrying his power as well. So I've still got a sneaky feeling this is a potential matchup next. I still think, and I hear what he's saying about the IBF, I think that can be worked through if there's enough money on the line. They're not going to turn their nose up at the sanctioning fees if it's a God knows how much money. So I'm starting to wonder. I think this may be favourite next, but this is my favourite fight to take place next.
It's the fight I want to take place next. I want it at the City Ground. The boxing world, I'm telling you now, mate, the boxing world will have not have heard atmosphere like you will get at an open air venue, whether it be City Ground or whether it be Ellen Road. If they do the tickets right and they split the crowd 50-50, which it deserves to be, can you imagine? Can you imagine the atmosphere, mate? Oh, I mean, the Leeds fans, props to them. They proved on Saturday night just how loud they are. We saw it firsthand in the Ice Arena in Nottingham. There's not
as loud as the Nottingham fans, though, and they're not as knowledgeable as the Nottingham fans. I'll just put that out there.
Well, okay. Well, that's, you're entitled to your opinion, mate.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
I think it's very close, even though I'm from Nottingham, even though I'm a Forest fan, even though I'm a Leigh Wood fan. The atmosphere will just be outstanding. I don't understand. It's a no-brainer for me. I don't understand why it wouldn't happen next. The
challenge is, Andy, the stars need to align a little bit to coin an Eddie Hearn phrase, because you've got quite a few things to consider here. You need it to be after the football season, or City Ground's a no-go. So
fight into it, isn't it? But that's when they'll both fight next in the summer.
But that's what I'm saying about if you start talking about going other avenues, I'm not sure when that fight happens.
Well, let's put it like this, right? If it doesn't happen next, which will be the summer, it won't happen because Ellen Road and the City Ground will be used throughout the winter. There isn't a quick enough turnaround in between home and away matches for the pitch to be laid out for the. There just isn't enough time, mate. So it can't happen in the winter. If this doesn't happen next, and they take a fight in Vegas each, and then it happens in the winter, it can't happen in an outdoor venue. No. It'll only be in the O2. And nobody wants it down there. Nobody wants it down there. All fans, look, there's no secret that all of Warrington's fans are Leeds fans, Leeds football fans. Yeah. There's no secret that the majority of Leigh Wood's fans are Forest fans. That's just the way it is. So why would you not do it in the summer at one of the grounds? It just makes complete sense. The only thing I can think of, and I don't think this is down to Warrington, and I don't think this is down to his team, the only thing I can think of is that Eddie Hearn has now got 2 world champions in the same division. Is he wanting to make big money off both of those fighters before he puts them in against each other? Because once they're in against each other, one of them loses, mate, and then he's lost that second gravy train.
He ain't going to earn that much by taking either of them. He's not going to earn the sort of money he's going to earn from a stadium fight by taking them to America, though, is it? They're away fighters.
I agree with you, mate, but...
And he loves a pound note, so everything's pointing...
Does he think that you put one in against Santa Cruz, one in against Navarrete?
The only way this fight don't happen, and I think slightly different to you, is if Warrington pushes for that away day in America that he's banging on about. That's the only way this fight don't happen for me. So
that's just it, though, mate. I think that's exactly what Warrington wants. He wants a fight in Vegas or a fight in Madison Square Garden, and I think he's going to pick Santa Cruz.
Well, let's hope then that when he gets the numbers put in front of him, that he changes his mind, because he's going to earn a lot more money by coming to the City Ground or Ellen Road than he is by going that route.
I agree. I totally agree with you, man. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think Eddie Hearn wants that fight next. I really don't, mate.
Well, I'm not sure when he's going to put it on there. Is he going to wait till next summer, which feels a long way off?
No, I don't think he will. I think he'll make them fight each other. I think he'll make them fight each other in the winter, and it'll be at the O2 because it holds 20,000, don't it? Honestly, mate, I really do think that. I really think Eddie Hearn wants to keep them away from each other at the minute. He's probably hoping that they both go, like I say, they both go to America. They both fight the world champions. They both beat them and take their belts. And then it becomes it's already a gigantic fight, but then it's a fight for everything.
Well, that takes us nicely on to the next possible opponent, Navarrete. Now, Leigh Wood's gone on record as saying he wants Navarrete. So I would suggest to say, if they are going to America on separate assignments, I think Leigh Wood's going to jump in with Navarrete.
Yeah, I do.
You know, and to be fair, Leigh, I hope you watch this. You've got balls, because Navarrete is a fight. That is a genuine war.
Do you know why Leigh Wood wants to fight? Because you don't have to go looking for him.
No.
He's seen things in the Navarrete's armour that he can exploit. He's come out and said it.
Yeah.
He knows it's Leigh Wood's type of fight. They're going to stand there and trade for 12 rounds. It suits people down to the ground, Navarrete. Don't get me wrong, mate. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous fighter. And again, like you've just, I'll echo what you've just said, mate. Leigh, you got balls, mate. Wow. But in my opinion, out of all the fighters we've just gone through, that's the one that is going to happen for me.
So where would you put Warrington out of 10?
7.
I'm going 8.
And I think Navarrete is more like a 9.
I think Warrington and Navarrete, you could flip a coin at the minute.
Right. Yeah, maybe. I think Eddie Hearn's got a bit of a plan. I think he's got a bit of a golden mastermind going on here, and I think he thinks that he'll send them both over there. Hopefully, they both win another world title each. I think
it's a big ass, that is, isn't it?
Big ass. No, of course it is. But Eddie Hearn takes risks, don't he? I think Warrington fights Santa Cruz. I don't think the WBA would make the Santa Cruz v, as we've just said. I don't think he makes the Santa Cruz versus Leigh Wood fight. I think Leigh Wood goes in against Navarrete, and then we've got an outstanding fight in the winter with these two. It's a shame because he should be at the stadium, but it's just not.
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball in then, because obviously the one we've not mentioned, Lara, and obviously Josh Warrington has got demons regarding Lara, and he wants that. He's got on record saying he wants that third fight. So what's stopping Josh Warrington going out to fight Lara?
I can't see that happening, mate. I know he says he wants to exercise them demons, but he's had 3 fights now. In his last 3 fights, he got knocked out. He got knocked out in one of them by Lara. The second one against Lara, I thought he was heading the same way. I thought Lara was very close to landing some of them big bombs again. And then he's just gone in against Kiko and had his jaw broke. Now, he's a true warrior for coming through that fight with a broken jaw. Does he really want to be taking the next fight against the biggest puncher, potentially the biggest puncher in the whole division in Lara, with those demons in his head? I just can't see it, mate.
I won't put it past him. I think it needles him. I think he's got to do it.
Maybe leave it to your last fight before you retire, then, mate. Because if you lose, then it matters, but it doesn't matter as much. If he might not be able to leave it that long, though. I think now he's beat Kiko Martinez, he's elevated himself again into a position where he can jump in with Lara again. I think there's a strong possibility if that's on the table to fight Lara in America, he'll go and do it. I think he's absolutely well. Maybe he will, because we've just said he's got balls like coconut Santa.
And remember, when you've got to have a shave in the mirror every morning and you've got that in your head, you know the fighters ended out there. The fighters.
No, I know that, and he wants to exercise that demon. I get that, mate, but you need to be smart. You need to be smart, and the smart thing is you don't fight that guy again straight away. Go and get yourself some real good paydays, some real good memories in America. Let's have it right. Him and Leigh Wood are in the 30s. They've got a couple, 3, 4 fights left in them.
The trouble is, though, if it depends what Warrington's mindset is, because should he go to America and fight Santa Cruz, Navarrete, or it's not a given he's going to win. So he gets beat, then that Lara fight's gone.
No, why?
Well, I don't believe Lara. What's he got to offer Lara? But if Eddie Hearn he ain't got a belt, Hearn won't pay the money.
About last time he fought Lara.
But Lara wasn't as big a profile he is now. You could argue Lara's going to be knocking. He's going to want a world title shot, Lara, isn't he? So he's got a better chance to get him into the ring while he's got a world title than without.
Money talks.
How badly he wants him.
Money talks, mate. I don't know. I think it's a real big mistake if Warrington takes Lara now. Honestly, I really do. I'm not saying you should never fight him, but I think you should fight him. I think you should fight him at the end if he wants to exercise that demon and just say, right, I righted that wrong. Right now, mate, in my opinion, is in prime position. While he's on such a high, go and take another world title. Go and take on another world champion.
He could be on the slide as well, though, because obviously Martinez, he ain't no Lara, is he?
No, I know that.
He had a touch. He had a touch, didn't he, getting Martinez in the ring for a world title? Let's be honest.
And I agree with you to an extent, but Kiko's one tough son of a gun.
He is, but he only beat our Barry, didn't he?
To come through those first 2 rounds. Warrington was like a whirlwind in them first 2 rounds, mate. I tell you what that reminded me of. That reminded me of the Warrington that went in against Frampton.
Martinez ain't world class, though, is it?
No.
And that's the only point I'm making.
And Warrington did tire in the second half of the fight, and I think that was basically because of how much he put in the first 2 rounds. The other dimension is that does he fight as well when he's away from home? And yeah, he's going to take a lot of Leeds fans with him, but not the amount that were in that crowd at the weekend.
No.
Is he going to get the same response out of himself?
There's quite a bit to work out about the timing for Lara. Is he slowing up? Is he on the slide? You know, is it the best version of Josh Warrington we're seeing now? So if he does wait to jump in with Lara, is he going to be a worse version? But they're all questions that he's probably mulling around in his head. Only he knows that. But if this is the best version, he can feel his sprint time slowing up and things like. Now's the time. If you want to talk about beating Lara, it's got to be next.
Yeah, well, I just think it's career suicide, mate. I wouldn't suggest any of the world champions fight Lara. If I'm being quite honest, he's that dangerous.
Like I say, only Warrington knows, doesn't it? Only Warrington knows.
Yeah, only Warrington knows. And like you say, he has to look himself in the mirror. He has to close his eyes at night. It's all going to come down. At the end of the day, mate, this is all going to come down to what Eddie Hearn puts in front of both fighters. It'll be a case of, right, Leigh, this is what I can get you for fighting Warrington. This is what I can get you for fighting Navarrete. And this is what I can get you for fighting Santa Cruz. Which one do you want? And it'll be the same thing. He'll have the same conversation with Warrington. Eddie Hearn will have his own ideas of what he wants them to do, though. And I'm sure he'll try and put that on the two fighters that they go.
I can't see Leigh Wood not fighting at the City Ground in the summer. He's adamant he wants to do it. He's been promised it now for the last two fights. If I'd put my last pound on it, he fights at the City Ground in the summer. Who against? Now that's a different question.
Yeah.
But for me, the lad can't say no more about wanting to fight at the City Ground. And even Eddie Hearn's mentioned it more and more in conversation, which suggests it might be happening. I still think it's Josh Warrington.
I'm afraid I don't. I want it to be. I want it to be, mate, more than anything, because I think it's the fight that gives the best atmosphere. It's the fight that has the best narrative. Can you imagine the build-up?
Yeah.
I mean, and just touching on it, mate. How respectful was Leigh Wood on Saturday night?
Yeah.
He was respectful in commentary. He couldn't say enough about how good Warrington fought.
I'll tell you, you could take a lesson from him, and that's Barrett.
A lot of people can take lessons from him, mate. There's lots and lots of fighters in boxing that don't have half of the class that Leigh Wood's got. I'm not going to name any, but there's a lot out there that are just disrespectful.
But you know why that is? Because he's an humble kid and he appreciates what he's got. Because remember, he's quick to say that 2 years ago, he had no fight deal at all.
He had no fight deal. He wasn't being trained. He wasn't being trained properly by a trainer on a constant basis. Half the time he was training himself. When he went into that golden contract against Jazzy Dickens, he trained himself.
Yeah.
He didn't have a full-time trainer. And then you get these mugs on social media digging him out. Well, he's proved now. They've all gone quiet, thank God, because they got nothing to say.
I can't believe people are coming on and writing him off yet again. I mean, how many times they got to write this kid off? Reese Mould, he wasn't meant to be. Kanzu, he wasn't meant to be. Michael Conlon, he wasn't going to be. And now people are saying that Warrington will walk through him. Come on, have a day off.
I've got absolute respect for Warrington for fighting the way he fought with a broken jaw. Yeah. I've got the utmost respect. I believe that he is on the slide a little bit. He was in great condition, mate, and he was done after a couple of rounds because he put it all in. The thing for me with Warrington is when he's on the attack like he was in the first 2 rounds, he completely forgets about defense.
Yeah, wide open.
Them looped hook shots that he throws, he's so wide open. He's so wide open, and that's what did him in the Lara fight. He was wide open and didn't see
Yeah.
the shot coming. And exactly the same thing will happen with Leigh Wood.
Yeah. So we'll bring that video to an end there, and so obviously we're very partisan Leigh Wood coming from where we're from.
Of course.
So let's hope the City Ground takes place in June. Like, comment, subscribe, post your comments below if you agree or disagree. Live every Thursday, 7 p.m. This platform's for boxing fans to come and have your say. Please join us on camera, not just typing in the sidebar. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next show. Cheers, Andy.
Cheers, mate.